What's up, everyone? We're back again with another video. In today's video, we have the March to October / franchise feature premiere, and pretty much we're pretty much breaking everything down that they changed. As you see on your screen right here, we got a bullet list of things they've already talked about. So they've refined the trade block to reflect current trends. So pretty much what this means is that the trade block, you're gonna see kind of like the actual MLB, where you see like these top players getting traded for a ton of prospects. So if you're out of the contention, you can put your closer or starting pitcher, one of your best players, up to be able to get some prospects. And opposite, if you need one more piece only for the playoffs or for that final push, you can put some prospects on the market and you get some trades kind of like that. The logic is a lot better than it used to be last year, which is a good thing. And then that also works for both sides on the trade blocks. The trade blocks improved. Trades will now be a lot harder to make for those top players, like we saw in 21, where people were trading Mike Trout for like 2 terrible prospects and Ohtani. So now they've reworked that. So you pretty much have to give up some top prospects on your side to get one big name player. So that's kind of what they showed. They showed Juan Soto getting traded for the Yankees' 2 top prospects in the league. So that was something cool they showed. So trades should be better, the trade logic should be better, and then players will no longer be able to trade after immediately signing in the offseason. I didn't really use that last year. I didn't really see that, but probably a lot of people did, so they're ending up changing that. So I guess as soon as you sign someone, you just can't trade them for a little bit. I would assume that's what they do. But yeah, a lot of updates to franchise and how this works. And they didn't really show any March to October yet, so they're really covering the franchise part, which is good, because I only play franchise, so I like that. So a lot of things to the trade block and making trades and how all that works. So this is good improvements already as we're seeing. So we have new budgeting logic, as you can see right here. So how this works is so before the budget changes, it was based off the whole organization, your whole budget. Now in 22, it's only based off your 40-man roster. So this is the Red Sox, for example. As you see, they only had $10.10 million of budget, but now you don't have to technically pay your people that are on the 40-man roster. You have a bigger budget to spend, and that's how it works, because the budget's only off the 40-man roster instead of the whole organization, so you have more money to spend, is pretty much what I'm assuming. And then if we go a couple more frames, we have Kevin Euclius is the new legend right here, so that just announced. So that's pretty cool as well. And here it is again. So they've updated obviously the player payroll, kind of like how it is in real life with the 40-man roster, and updated the team market sizes to current reflect the MLB, which is good all around, and make it more like real life, which is what people want in franchise. And it's going to become more realistic as you go on with the Sims and stuff to what the actual MLB would do, like kind of like at the last year's trade deadline, which was crazy. People were getting traded like honestly crazy. You never seen that you never seen that before in the MLB, so that was kind of crazy. But yeah, so it's going to be more like real life, which is a good thing. So as you see on your screen, we got Freddy Freeman here on both sides, and pretty much you can go to 15 years on a contract now, which is good. I think the max was 13 or 12 in 21. I'm not totally sure about that, but now you can go to 15 years, and now you can give someone 35 million is the max AEV you can go in MLB The Show 22. So they are making contract improvements. As you see on your screen, he's happy with both, because he's only seeking a certain amount per year. He's getting a lot more. So that's kind of how the new logic of the contracts work, which is nice. I like that they're doing all these changes. It's just going to make franchise play so much better. I can't wait to hop on franchise and start the series. But yeah, so this is all good information. Alright, so like they're saying again, 15 years on the max contract, and then the AEV is now 35. And then pretty much they talked about this whole stream, but the player contract demands have been adjusted under 3 years weighted WAR. WAR pretty much is a wins above replacement, so you obviously want to have a high and not a negative one. So then the player contract demands will not be as severe if you have a bad season. They won't be as severe, which is good. And then boost in overall relief pitcher and contract values, because sometimes the relief pitchers were not getting paid, kind of like the position players were. So that they've now fixed that, so they should be getting paid. All right, and then they go on and talk about more about the two-way players, and pretty much two-way players will now be able to DH every day. They don't pitch, so like Shohei Ohtani was like the example they were obviously using. Obviously we've seen with the Angels, he pitches and then he DHs, and then when he's back in the rotation, he pitches again. So you can now do that in the franchise mode. Then two-way players will now recover pitching stamina even while they DH. So last year this was not happening. So if you DH them, he'd lose stamina to pitch, so you couldn't pitch him all the time, which is really frustrating if you were playing the Angels on the franchise last year. So now, if you DH him, he'll recover his pitching stamina, so he'll be back to 100%, which is a good thing. And pitchers that have a secondary position can become a two-way player if they are the best option to DH. And this is only franchise. It does not work in Diamond Dynasty, like he said. So only franchise, but yeah. So this is a good thing. They obviously had to change the code of the game for Otani to work, but we're happy it's here. The next thing we talked about is players will actually be signing kind of like the MLB. Obviously in 21, the players were signing like insanely fast. So as soon as that first day of free agency were hit, they were signing like instantly, kind of like how you see in hockey. But now they're going to be signing over like a longer period of time. So you'll have time to, when you negotiate your contract and see which options, is the best for the player, which is a good thing in the long term. And then free agents will never like wait until like March, like right now. They will always sign even if it's a reduced contract. So that is good as well. So they pretty much said they'll always sign even if it's a reduced contract if it's getting close to spring training, which is another good feature now. All right, so a lot of things were mentioned here about the rosters and how they're constructed and all that stuff. So arbitration and renewable decisions are now based on the player metric. The player metric is how well they are doing in performance. So like their example was, they said Gleyber Torres was not performing as well. So they actually went out and traded some prospects for a better second baseman for him. So that's actually pretty crazy. So they're now like real life pretty much. They said, all the prospects, have the same age potential. They made sure and check that. I see on the bottom there, the logic improvements to the 40-man roster, that are a lot better from what they showed. And then the value of players in protecting the Rule 5 draft is obviously a lot better. The Rule 5 draft, it's pretty much a lot of good prospects that have to stay on your 40-man roster that were kind of just letting go, but now the other organizations besides you will, make sure to not let those guys go. And the last one, the logic changes now will improve the CPU tenderings to keep players that have value to the organization. So that means if you have value to your organization, you have some potential, they're going to tender your contract so they can get that draft pick and all that good stuff. So a lot of interesting things were mentioned right here. And they did say they're using all real MLB rosters for prospects all the way to A-ball, all the way to the MLB, which is really good because they used to have a lot of creative players and fake players back in the day, but now it's all real. So this is very good to hear. I'm so excited to play franchises here. So and then they released some community requests right here. So some of them were pitcher staminas will be accurate, reflecting in the postseason. So you can run some 4-man rosters into 3-man rosters for your starting pitchers in the postseason. Because I remember it was super annoying going in the postseason, and then you have your 5th starter like running your last deciding game, and you just get pissed off because you don't want them in, you want your ace in. So they will recover a lot faster if their stamina stat is high enough to do so, which is really nice. The transition log has been expanded to 4 stories of more information. So pretty much what this means, if you want to see a trade you made like early in the year, and you're in the postseason, you can pretty much look back at April and see any trades you made, which is a good thing. And then separate injury sliders for simulation and in game. I never really use these, to be honest, but you can change these if you want. So if you don't want people to get injured, if you want people to get injured more, I guess you can change that now. So I guess that's a interesting thing as well. So pretty much I'm just gonna run through this real quick, but March to October you can actually advance to the next season. So this has never been done in March to October. This is kind of like the second franchise mode they're really pushing for some reason, but no one really ever plays this. So I'm just gonna talk about it real quick because not a lot of people play it anyways, and franchise is king, let's be honest. So apparently if you suck, I think he had the Blue Jays here. They've won like 74 games in 2022. So now you can advance to the next season. He's going through the little like tutorial right here. So now you can make, free agent moves, potential needs and team needs for your whole team. So it's kind of like the franchise mode, but dubbied down a little bit. It obviously shows your budget, but this is a pretty interesting way to get people to franchise. I think it's kind of the easier version of it. Because, in franchise, you got to worry about prospects and your budget and, like you're running an organization. This is just really kind of like a win now kind of thing, kind of situation. So in March to October, so that's like the big thing, the difference. So franchise, like a long year, kind of you want to rebuild, get some prospects, and then finally make it to the World Series. This is kind of more like a win now kind of situation. Get kind of quick into franchise, or get into a franchise mode like that. So which is pretty interesting. Once again, I probably will never play this mode, just because I like franchise way better. It's more accurate. And, I do think there are rewards in Diamond Dynasty for doing it, but at the same time, I'm really not a big fan of it. And I'd rather just get my prospects instead of a win. If I want to play win now, I'm just picking the Dodgers in this and I'm winning with their stacked lineup they got, especially with Freeman. So that's pretty much what this whole feature premiere is about. A lot of franchise changes that I'm really excited for to be finally becoming, to the game. I mean, it's going to make the game flow so much better, and I can't wait for it. So I can't wait for a franchise. We obviously got the series coming up, 30 and 30. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. We're going to be rebuilding all the franchises in one episode. We're going to be uploading all to the channel. So, you know, if you guys are excited for that, make sure to like and subscribe, because I'm bringing those, and I'm bringing it the whole year long. I think the first one is the New York Yankees we're starting with. I already have a whole full list of the teams and what we're going to be doing. So I already have everything planned out. So don't even worry about that. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.